Hello, Mr. Holmes again. Video number 5 in the Soft Skills Microsoft Word video series. This video is going to focus on working with tables. Um, yes, tables are very important in documents for a number of reasons. Many places you can use them. In addition to actually using them as a table, you could actually use tables to help you structure the layout of your document, because when you start dropping screenshots of code or other such or runs and output of runs and so on and so forth, those images can um, jump around quite a bit, and one way to control the layout of your document in that way is to actually make use of tables. So tables important not just for the sake of having a table, but for formatting and controlling the layout of your document as well. Alright, so without further ado, how do we actually get a table into our document? Well, you go to the place where you want the table to be. Normally a good idea to put some enters so you've got some space above and below where the table is going to go, um, in case you want to move it around a little bit. It gives you the option to do that. And once you've put in some enters, as you can see I have, you go to the insert menu, and on the left hand side you have options of inserting a table. And the most important thing is you need to know how many columns, how many vertical slots you want, and that's the bit that you want to get right. So let's suppose I need 4 columns. Number of rows is not that important. We'll see why in a minute. Let's start with 2, and you can then, once the table's inserted, you can put in your headings. Okay, so as you can see, I've put in some headings on my table, which I'm maybe going to use as a success criteria table. And first thing I probably want to do is I want to narrow, make this first column a bit narrow, because it's just going to be using numbers. So as I move my mouse cursor between the two, the minute I get the resize arrow, I can click and drag it over, and the the column to the left, or right rather, will automatically sort of resize itself. Now, in this particular instance, I've maybe put too many columns in. How do I get rid of it? Well, as I move around the table, I can wait until I get this drop down arrow, pointing down arrow. I can select an entire column, or I can select an entire row. It's a bit hard to select an entire row. Actually, it's very easy, just to highlight the whole thing. Or I could probably just highlight it, the entire column. Once I've selected the entire column, I then have the option of, maybe I don't have enough, I could insert another one. In this case, I'm just going to delete the extra column that I put in. I'm going to delete the column, and that whole column is now being deleted. I can now drag the right hand side of the other column over, and there we have it. Now, you'll notice I've only got 2 rows at the moment. One's filled up by the headings, the other one's where I'm going to put my information in. How do I get more? You could highlight the entire row and use the insert option, but another way of doing it is really very easy. Let's suppose I'm in the table at this point. When I press the tab key, it will automatically jump me from one cell to the next. When I press tab on the last cell in the table, it will automatically add another row and put me in the first line of the row. So I can just keep adding more rows very quickly and easily using the keyboard alone, by just simply pressing the tab key. And probably always best to have more than you need, because you can always go back and you can simply delete the additional rows that you no longer need. Just remember, rows go across and columns go down. Well, that's it for working in tables. Remember things like the shift enter to move on to the next line, to hard line break, are quite useful in tables. And that's it. We'll put it to some use later on in the following video. I hope this helped you learn how to use tables, practice putting tables in and experimenting with them. That's my advice. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.